Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are getting ready here. Brian and Carl are getting set up to play their finals match for season 3 of the Shuffle Bus. As always, with me is my good friend and co host, Neil. How are you today, Neil?
Good,
Good.
good.
Sounds like you're
Not.
surviving a hurricane or a
It's a
tropical
tropical
storm.
storm. Yeah, it is raining here. Uh, that is all. I don't know. I live far enough from the coast that it won't be a big deal, but
Good to
the
hear.
Walmart was very busy, so people panic about that stuff.
Right. So we are getting fired up here with Carl on the top of your screen and Brian on the bottom of your screen. Brennan versus Mayoni. We have seen both of these decks in action in the semifinals as well
Yeah,
as.
a couple of times on stream.
Yep. So we won't spend a ton of time going over their deck list here because I want to let these guys jump in and get to playing right here on time so we stay on time. But I think we've got a really interesting matchup here. I think that.
Yeah, Carl is under the impression that it's very one-sided against him. I agree that Brian, I think, is advantaged.
Okay.
If you've seen the games that we've watched with Carl, they go 5 or 6 rounds.
Right.
It's a slow controlling deck, and 5 or 6 rounds is a lot of Brennan activations. Um, so you know we'll we'll see how it goes.
Right, and I am giving them the send off to go ahead and start the play. And I wish both of these competitors nothing but the best here. These are both two top quality players playing Ashes here.
Yeah, obviously Carl is no stranger to the finals. He's been in it every season, and Brian has played many high stakes games of Ashes in his life. I don't know if we had him in. Have we had him in a finals?
I'm
I
not
think we
sure
did.
did we have Brian in season 1 finals? I don't remember for sure. We
I don't
did.
know.
We did have.
It was Carl and Matt last season, right? And Carl and
Can't remember who was season 1.
Stefanos.
Stefanos, yeah. So I think we saw Carl and Brian
Yeah.
in AIL finals, which turned out to be a 2 match.
Brian played Matt in the AIL finals.
Okay, that's what it was.
But,
As I say, I know we've had Brian in finals coverage, but and certainly his repertoire is very high up there. But taking Brennan to a finals when Brennan has not top eighted in 3 seasons has really sort of maybe found the secret sauce for Brian here in terms of what you want out of Brennan in total play. So Brian just starts out right out of the
seeing
gate.
a very aggressive Raptor Herder start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is the one that threatens like 6 to 8 damage on turn 2.
Right.
And I don't know what. I guess Carl could have a Nature's Wrath that he started. Because Essence Druid is not very good in the empty board. I guess Frostfang would be okay.
Yeah, I mean, and Carl is typically open with the Frostfang, so it may not be bad to just see it. But
I don't think Frostfang is particularly good in this matchup. Just because, the reason you want the Frostfang is to have that like 3 life unit killer with the So see if he has an ice trap here. I think that's about the only thing that's going to stop him from getting aided here. Because he's gonna
ping him for 2 with the
sack
Spear
to
Burn.
the Brennan ability and then make 2 widows.
Right. 2 widows
And
come into
attack.
play and attack for 6 would make 8 attack here, unless Carl answers with, like you said, an ice trap to take away the group tactics from the Raptor Hatchling, as well as the one of the widows here. But we're just going to see the 8 attack, and so Carl is going to suffer 8 damage on turn 2 of the round. That's what Brendan can do in fast opens if your opponent is not prepared for them. And
So this does use up, essentially half of Brian's turn already in cards and dice. So there's a very good possibility this will make a large snake. And we'll see if large snake is big enough to race. I don't think Gilink is good in this matchup. I mean, obviously, looking at this board, it doesn't seem very good.
Brian's going to drop that Salamander Monk. Carl is still just on Gilder Book and Silver Snake Book, so I imagine we'll see the snake here. Oh, he's going to continue to set up with Three-Eyed Owl. I like Three-Eyed Owl in this matchup a ton. Carl can make that.
It is one of the ways that you like interact with the stuff he's doing, because you're not interacting very profitably on board, though it looks like Brian's going to be able to deploy his hand before this owl gets him.
Yeah, potentially. I think that last card may be Hammer Knight, but I'm guessing it's going to be Turtle Book. Just going to try to make a board full of...
Yeah, we did see him meditate into the turtle side. So, yep, so you called it. There's a Turtle Book. Owl is just a blocker now, which is fine to do. Like, looking at the situation here, you know, Carl he didn't start Vampire Bat, which is kind of cool. He started his larger guys.
Yeah, I actually saw the Vampire Bat go by. I don't know how many copies of Vampire Bat he has in the deck. One copy. So the Vampire
Just
Bat did go by in Meditation earlier, so we will not see bats in this.
Warriors is saying in chat that, and I agree, that the bat is not particularly good in the matchup. Because his one toughness guys are kind of bad. Like, all they do is feed the snake to Gilder or Nature Ping or whatever. But he kind of had to start the stack of one toughness guys just because he wanted to have that big turn too.
Right.
So now we're going to see him start making...
Guess we'll see the Frostfang, but no root armor on the Frostfang this game. Or at least not the way it's set up right now.
The Frostfang does look good into this board now, though we'll see if Carl had him on Turtle and Prospect Bear as first fives. Because I don't think Frostfang is particularly good in this matchup. There's essentially no unit burn spells in Brian's deck, so the armor is turned off, and almost literally every guy in the pile kills the Frostfang in combat because they're all 2/1s.
And Carl's just going with that Hypnotized Book here. It looks like he's kind of considering just how to build Snake fast and race Brian to the bottom.
That's a fine strategy. I mean, this is the kind of thing it's in there for. Because if he has a Nature's Wrath now as his last card, the Snake's going to get in for 3 or 4. And then next turn he'll have an unblockable one. Obviously, there's no unblockable this turn because all his Charm dice are gone. But
yeah, you could Nature's Wrath, power the Snake up, and Command Strike the guard. That would put
he has
Brian...
to be careful. Like, I think he wants to be able to Command Strike the Frostback Bear, not the Turtle. The Frostback Bear is a much bigger threat than the Turtle is. Brian doesn't have the ability to focus that Turtle Book, so it's not like the Turtle's really interacting.
Does Brian possess the ability to focus the Turtle at all? No. He's just a 1x book in his deck, so there is no focus effect from Turtle this game.
And in general, Turtle is good against this kind of stuff where there's like one big dude, because it'll protect his, higher quality guys. Like the unit guard is just good against the Snake. But it's not posing any kind of damage threat to Mayoni other than I guess it's sackable to Spirit Burn.
Here comes the bear. This should see, if Carl is playing Frostfang as that last card, should see the Frostfang come down now and see the Command Strike on that bear.
Yep, this will just be to see if he put him on Frostback Bear as a potential first 5.
If not, then
And he's fading the Salamander Monk as long as possible, trying to bait up the Gilder. I don't think there's any reason that Carl would make Gilder before it has something to kill.
well, Carl could kill some of those Sleeping Widows, but he can do that also again next round. He's also just got a boatload of nature dice if he wants to meditate into that here.
At this point, actually, looks like we're make the Gilder. Oh,
he's going to make Gilder into the Sleeping Widow.
Yeah, that's fine. It gives the snake a little bit of power to trade with some of these guys, maybe. But Brandon was full up on board space, so we
Nature's Wrath mid.
He needed that thing to get pinged away to be able to make a Salamander anyway.
We got one status counter. I think we will see Bear swing now. I think if you're Brian, you just got to stay aggressive and be the beatdown here before the bear gets eaten by something. So, and I think you just take the bear in.
So the only reason I wouldn't attack with bear is if I think he's going to attack with snake. I guess because the Mayoni card is still up, it doesn't really matter. Gilder, yeah, attacking is probably fine.
Yeah, I think you just take your damage points where you can. Taking Mayoni down to 10 in round 1 is a pretty big swing in tempo and can put Mayoni on her back foot through most of the game. We did see Root Armor go by in one of those meditates as well. So
Root Armor sucks in this matchup, though. He's happy to meditate that away.
Carl is threatening with the double nature, still that chance for the Frostfang. He still has the output for Molten Gold as well. I think he's got a 1-up Molten Gold. I doubt he started Molten Gold, but something that is in his list.
Frostfang looks good specifically because of Command Strike. If he attacks with Bear, then the Frostfang's a lot worse. Because Frostfang just sucks into Turtle Guard. Like, those two cards do not interact good for Frostfang.
Well, but Frostfang to Command Strike Turtle Guard. I mean, obviously you're spending a lot of dice against a Turtle Guard that costs you 2 dice. You're spending 4 dice into that Turtle Guard.
Right. Specifically, the Command Strike, because he started Turtle Bear, it does have a purpose. But I think in general, it's just very bad in this matchup. And once it's in play and the Command Strike is exhausted, okay, he has it.
Yep.
Once the Command Strike is exhausted, it just looks like garbage, right?
We'll see the command strike probably on the turtle here.
Yeah,
that just opens up the board for both the snake and the Frostfang to get through.
And he has the nature ping up to finish off the bear. Because I assume what's going to happen is Frostfang's going to attack. It's going to get blocked by the Brennan. And then Snake will attack the bear, and the bear will get nature pinged.
Carl has the opportunity to nature ping the monk here, but yeah, we're going to see how much of Brian values this. He's going to take 3 damage here, keep the bear alive for
one interesting thing is that he's not going to get to kill the Frostfang this turn by making that play. If he, but I guess the bear was exhausted anyway, so it wouldn't have been able to counter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to either lose the turtle or the bear, and if you don't exhaust the bear, you're going to lose the bear to Frostfang. Although it still puts Carl in a pretty awkward place if you don't attack there for 2 points. We're going to see Salamander Monk go at the Gilder for a point of damage.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
And we'll see that nature ping on the Widow, which is an interesting decision, but I guess just wants to reduce Brian's board size, turn that snake up, and kill the bear.
This was better than pinging the bear because it made the snake big enough to kill the bear. So you got the Widow and the bear.
Snake already got 4
coming out
counters
of round
on it.
1. Looks pretty strong for Carl.
Although Carl's board is fully filled at this point. There's not going to be more Gilder action in terms of making more Gilders.
Yeah, he's just up a million dice. Is the only thing. Uh,
That's kind of how Brennan operates, though, right? Brennan operates in this vacuum where,
sure, it doesn't mean that the Brennan is going to lose or anything. I think that round went poorly for I would rather be in Carl's seat going into round two, but we'll see what the Brennan has in store. Carl having some difficulty with this exhaustion token, I guess.
these smart tokens can be a little bit problematic in the mod. I always hit the little button to switch them over to the classic tokens.
The numbered one is cool for Snake. And Carl getting first this round is pretty rough too.
No frog ping, so we're not going to see the Salamander Monk get pinged out of the way to open up the board for a solid 8 attack here. Which would be a
You wouldn't do that anyway. That Frostfang is not going to attack Brennan directly unless Brennan guards it. He's going to save it to attack Turtle or Bear. The Snake may come to face off Hypnotize, but
so most likely we'll probably see Carl do. If it was me, I'd probably just take the memory drain here if you don't intend to be the aggressor and take away one of Brian's tools for this round.
I mean, he has some there
goes the Essence Druid.
Discard Essence Druid to meditate. Showing redirect, maybe?
It's very likely we could see, depending on Brian's hand, we could see
no redirects.
We could see a situation where Brennan just burns for 5 here and sets up a top of round 3. I'm not sure Carl can 15 Brian here this round. The Double Wrath gone. Those have to be the worst cards for Brian to face in general.
Yeah, those are good ones for Brian to seek on, but
there goes a Crescendo.
The Crescendo, I think, is like the literal best card.
Carl does have quite a few Crescendos in his list, though, so I don't think we have to...
He's attacking Hatchling with Frostfang. Does he have a Crescendo? I don't think Crescendo would be good here.
No, I think if you're Brian, you just have to take this and let the Hatchling die. Like, it exhausts that Frostfang, takes away the Command Strike. The Snake's big enough for Command Strike, of course, now. But just makes that Snake a little larger. Brian's thinking through this now. Yep.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see here is an attempt to win off of an explosive growth.
Explosive growth.
We don't know that he has.
Explosive growth would certainly get him there, especially if we saw like a double explosive here. If Carl has pulled double explosive, that would be a GG. I think Brian has to be on plan to make a unit this round.
Very unlikely that he has 2, but with an explosive growth, it's very likely the Snake will be lethal this round. It would be really hard for there not to be one of Brian's units dead before the Snake attacks.
Looks like Brian's thinking about putting that Frostback Bear into play. I think you kind of have to do that.
Because while he has so you need to be careful, right? Because I guess he doesn't have any additional side actions, so the most he could do here is Command Strike Bear. So yeah, he won't be able to remove the bear and make an explosive growth this turn. You're going to see the explosive growth coming, unless somehow he gets the board empty. As long as Brian keeps 2 units in play, he's not going to have explosive growth attack turn. Because the only thing that removes blockers beyond that is Crescendo.
Well, Choke and Sympathy Paint go by for Brian. Choke would be helpful here for Brian to prolong the game and probably tip it back in his favor, obviously. He may still have that in hand, but I would have suspected before we'd have seen a bear, you would have choked the Mayoni just to stop
I think he definitely does not have a choke if he's making Prospect Bear.
There's the explosive growth we were discussing. This should be Snake to 7, so Snake is now 14 attack. And we probably will see the command strike into the bear.
Well, he can't command strike because he
That's
used
true.
a side action already.
That's true. So what? Oh, he's Gilder pinging the Salamander Monk.
Yeah.
Yep. So Snake is lethal. And he's gonna ice trap the spirit. Wow.
Yeah, drawing the explosive growth in round 2 is pretty good for him.
For sure.
I think Brian has to be close to dead because I don't know how you stop 18 now.
Well, you definitely have to.
That's in play.
You definitely have to play Turtle Guard here because you can't afford to get Nature Ping, so you can't play a 1-life unit. So you have to play your Turtle Guard.
He has Hypnotize. He has to do something like right now or die.
That's true. I think that's probably GG on the Hypnotize. I forgot about the Hypnotize play. So there's a Blood Chains that will exhaust unless he's got the Golden Veil.
That was like so. If Carl could pick his second 5
perfectly, that was pretty much it.
I guess what other cards did he play this turn? Because he had the Explosive Growth and he had the Golden Veil.
That was a very, very crazy draw for sure because he drew into the Explosive Growth and the Golden Veil. And then what else?
The Ice Trap didn't matter too much.
No, but he drew a double Ice Trap.
Yeah, that was a crazy draw. Not that Carl didn't play good, but
yeah, yep. So that was just watching Mayoni just do exactly what Mayoni needs to do here to win on round 2.
Yeah, I mean this just shows you why he plays the Hypnotize, right? Like
absolutely,
because it allows you to race like this.
Yep. Because I think the Brennan player probably had enough to do 5, 6, or 7 here this round if the board didn't go that way for Carl here. Hypnotize first 5 was a great choice from Carl, just for that pressure point. And
yeah, it gives him the out to do this, right? Like, and even if he doesn't have the explosive growth, like he still gets in for 8 this turn with the Hypnotize for sure. We don't know that that's how the game would have gone, but
Brian had the Vampire, which would have also been doing some work for him if the board stabilized here.
That hand is very awkward. Like, you don't want to draw the Call Upon the Realms. And Double Knight, like, yeah, that's rough.